Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Bolt Speed Gamer back with another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle. This time I am using a Sandstorm team. So looking at the team preview, I have a Hippowdon, which is a Swords Dance set with Rapid Spin, Stone Edge, and Waterfall. I have a mixed wall for a Credilli. He knows Confuse Ray, Energy Ball, Stockpile, and Recover. I have a Crustle, which is a late game sweeper. He has Shell Smash, Rock Blast, X Scissor, and Earthquake. I have a Skarmory, who sets up spikes and has Whirlwind, Brave Bird, and Roost as a physical wall. I have a Hippowdon, which is a fairly defensive wall, but he also is a phaser with Roar, Stockpile, Slack Off, and Earthquake. And I have a Heatran, which is a mixed wall as well, who has Will-O-Wisp, Stealth Rocks, Flamethrower, and Earth Power. And he has the Air Balloon just to make sure he has a little bit of protection from those ground type attacks. So my teammate has a fairly similar set with same as well, who also has Heatran, Hippowdon, and Credilli. But he also has a Terrakion, which is a very dangerous set, especially if it's choice banded. So I need to make sure that that threat is gone. So starting the battle, I thought he would go for a Hippowdon lead, and I'm sure he thought the same for me. So I start off with Hippowdon, and he has a Ferrothorn, and that is a rotten matchup for me. So I switch out, and I go into Heatran, which might have been a little obvious, but he doesn't actually attack or switch. He goes for a Thunder Wave, which I'm fine with. And so I figured he might send in the Heatran here for the Earth Power or something. So I go for an Earth Power myself, and it doesn't quite kill it. Here I thought he had a Focus Sash, but he doesn't. And then he goes for an Earth Power. I don't know if he forgot that I had the Air Balloon or he didn't see it. But that's fine. That's good for me. So my Heatran is fairly safe. So I get the Stealth Rocks up, which is very good. And then I switch out because I want to preserve my Heatran for later. He goes for a Ice Fang, and my Skarmory is going to be able to take that really well. I go for a Spikes because I want to get more entry hazard set up, punish him for switching out. Now, I don't want to take damage from I don't want to paralyze this guy, so I want to keep him for later. So I send out my Hippowdon to take it, and he does survive, and he does not take the damage because he is a ground type. And so I go for the Stockpile because I want to wall him and start phasing because I do have some entry hazards up. So I go for the second Stockpile. And so I have double defenses, and double of both defenses. He keeps setting up entry hazards. I know that's kind of a problem, but I'm hoping to have this Hippowdon in for a long time. So he gets his all of his entry hazards set up, I think. And then he switches out into his own Hippowdon, which I was actually kind of expecting, so I go for the Roar. I suspect his has a Roar just like mine, or a Whirlwind. So I roar him out into Gigalith. And so I figure I can go for a safe Earthquake because I have a bunch of stockpiles up and I'm fairly safe from him. So the Earthquake does a very good chunk considering how defensive Gigaliths are. So here I suspected he would switch, but he doesn't. But I still go for the Roar just in case. So he switches back out into his Heatran, which dies upon re-entry because of the entry hazards. So this is bad because he gets switch advantage, so he switches back into his Hippowdon. And so we both go for Roar/Whirlwind, but apparently I'm faster because I go first every time. I don't know if he didn't put anything in speed, so I don't know if it's a speed tie and I got very lucky. I don't know. So I figure I'll go for an Earthquake and I'll be safe, but he actually explodes. And look at how much damage this does. That is nothing. This Hippowdon is amazing on how defensive it is. So he goes out into Ferrothorn, so I figure he's going to start Power Whipping away, which I'm not scared of, so I'm going to just go for an Earthquake. And so it does a decent chunk. Oh, he did not have full entry hazards up, but now I believe he does, except for Toxic Spike. So he starts Power Whipping, and so I roar him out just to be safe, and he goes into his Terrakion, which does scare me because so I figured it's a choice band set, so I actually go for the Slack Off to see what he locks himself into, but he goes for a Swords Dance. So now I'm scared. And here's where I actually make a misclick, I meant to hit Earthquake so I could take him out, but I accidentally misclick, and he goes for another Swords Dance, and I accidentally hit Stockpile, which is very bad. And so I'm hoping I can take a +4, because I do have increased defenses, and I do, and I actually take it quite well. So I go for the Earthquake with the reduced defenses. I'm going to be able to take him out fairly easily, because it is stab and super effective, and he had lower defenses. So now I'm actually in a fairly good position, because now I can just slack off, and I'm back at full, and this Ferrothorn's not going to be able to do anything to me, unless he gets a critical hit. He doesn't, so I'm fairly safe. I can just go for an Earthquake, and so that'll leave this Ferrothorn in a bad spot. So now I figure I'll just roar him out. That way that'll give him one less Pokemon, and it won't give him switch advantage. Because as soon as Ferrothorn switches in, it will die. So he sends in his Hippowdon. Or, I'm sorry, I roar in the Hippowdon. And so I figure at this range I can take him out. So I go for an Earthquake, but it doesn't actually take him out. And he goes for the Whirlwind, which is very bad. And it brings in my Crustle and just gets murdered by those entry hazards. So I go for an Earthquake because my Crustle is actually offensive and not defensive. So I figured I was able to take him down. So here, because Rock doesn't actually resist Bug-type attacks, the X-Scissor is still super effective, so I'm actually able to take him out with 2 super effective X-Scissors. And so that's pretty much gonna be the game. It was kind of a one-sided match, so I will actually post a rematch with this guy. So you should look forward to that. It was a good battle. It was kind of unfortunate that he was on. It was a completely one-sided match. It was 6-0. So that was unfortunate for him. But I had a lot of fun, actually. You didn't actually get to see my Kabutops because he was only there at the beginning of the match. But I'm hoping to showcase him in future videos. So now I'm actually going to do a question of the day, this is my first one. So, anyway, I love weather teams. So I wanted to ask the viewers, any viewers that I have, is, what is your favorite weather effect? So, just post in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and comment, rate, and subscribe. So, thanks, have a great day, see you next time.